Data management. Salesforce provides a collection of standard objects as part of Salesforce CRM, which are used to store the data related to sales, service, and marketing application. The developer can create their own custom objects based on the need to store the application or business-specific data. All the Salesforce objects and records will get resides inside the database.com. Data represents the records inside the objects. By using data management feature, we can perform all the DML operations on the Salesforce object records. For example, insert, update, delete, export, etc. By using data management, we can perform the operations on either one or multiple records inside the object. Salesforce provides various approaches to manage the data as below. Page layouts, Apex programming, data import wizard, data export, data loader tool. Page layouts. By using page layouts, we can perform all the DML operations on the Salesforce object records. It allows us to perform the operations on only one record at a time. Apex programming. By using Apex programming, we can perform all the DML operations on one or more records inside the objects. We can perform 6 DML operations on the records like insert, update, delete, undelete, upsert, and merge. Data import wizard. Data import wizard is a cloud-based feature, which is used to perform import operations on the Salesforce object records. By using import wizard, we can just insert and update the records inside the object. But it won't support export operations. Import wizard allows us to process max of 50,000 records at a time. We have to supply the input records to the import wizard in the form of .csv file. Import wizard supports to import the records in all custom objects and 5 standard objects like account, contact, lead, solution, and campaign member. But it won't support to import the records in remaining standard objects. Data export. By using this feature, we can export the records from the Salesforce objects and we can store them to the local device. This feature allows us to export the data from one or more Salesforce objects at a time. It supports all standard and all custom objects of Salesforce to export. We can export the records from the object either manually or we can make it scheduled based on the periodical intervals. Data loader tool. Data loader is an on-premise tool or a client application, which requires installation inside the local system. Prerequisite. To install the data loader inside the device, we have to install JDK, Java Development Kit, and JRE, Java Runtime Environment, version 11.0 onwards. By using data loader tool, we can perform both import and export operations on the Salesforce object records. It supports to perform import and export on all standard and all custom objects. By using this tool, we can process max of 5 million records at a time. We have to supply the input records in the form of .csv file. Once the operations has been done, then it will generate 2 output files, success file and error file. Success file. It contains all the records, which has been processed successfully. Error file. It contains all the records information, which has been failed to process along with the failure reason. While processing the records, data loader supports partial processing mechanism. While processing the records, if any of the record has been failed, then it will ignore the failed record and will continue with the rest of the records as it is. While processing the records, data loader use batch programming internally. It will divide the input records into the various smaller batches and process each batch separately. While using batch programming, it supports 2 APIs. Apex API and Bulk API. Apex API, minimum batch size, 1. And maximum batch size, 2000. And default batch size, 200. Bulk API, minimum batch size, 1 and maximum batch size, 10,000. And default batch size, 2000. Data loader supports to perform the below 7 operations on the object records. Insert. Update. Delete. Hard delete. Upsert. Export. Export all. Export. By using this option, we can fetch the records from the Salesforce object and store them to the local device in the form of .csv file. While exporting the data, we can choose the required fields from the object. And we can add one or more user-defined conditions to be used to filter the records. We can restrict the number of records to be returned from the object through limit clause. Note, Always Data Loader tool can interact with only one object at a time. Export all. By using this option, we can export all the records from the object, along with the deleted records which are waiting inside the recycle bin. We can differentiate the deleted records by using isDeleted field, which is a standard field available in all Salesforce objects, which is a checkbox data type field. If isDeleted equals true, it is a deleted record from recycle bin. If isDeleted equals false, it is not a deleted record, it is from object. Insert operation. By using this operation, we can insert either one or more records inside the object at a time. We have to supply the input records to the data loader in the form of a .csv file. While processing the records, data loader purely supports partial processing mechanism. Hence, it will generate two output files. Success file, which contains all the records information, which has been inserted successfully. Error file, which contains all the failed records, along with the failure reason. Note: while inserting the records inside the object, we have to supply the values for all the required fields in the object. While inserting the records inside the object, we have to do the field mapping. We have to specify which column values to be stored in which field of the object. Salesforce provides the below three types of field mapping. Manual. In this approach, we have to map the fields manually by using drag and drop options. Automated. In this approach, we can use the button auto-match fields to columns button. And by using .sdl file, service description language. In this approach, we can save the field mapping inside the local device with the extension .sdl, and we can reuse the SDL file for future field mapping. Update operation. By using this feature, we can update the existing records in the object by assigning the new values for the required fields. Note: while updating the records, we have to supply the record ID also inside the CSV file. Once the update operation has been done, then it will generate two output files. Success file. Error file. Note: we have to supply the input records in the form of .csv file. Upsert operation. Upsert is a combination of both update plus insert. By using this operation, we can perform both insert and update operations on the object records at a time. We have to place both new records and existing records inside a CSV file, and supply the input file to the data loader tool. Note: data loader differentiate the records based on record ID. If the record contains record ID, then it will update the record. If the record doesn't have record ID, then it will insert the record. Once the upsert operation has been done, then it will generate two output files. Success file. Error file. Delete operation. By using delete operation, we can remove either one or more records from the object. Note: to remove the records from the object, we just need the record ID. Deleted records will get resides inside the recycle bin for the next 15 days as it is. Once the delete operation has been done, then it will generate two output files. Success file. Error file. Hard delete. By using this operation, we can remove the records from the object permanently without moving to the recycle bin. We have to enable this button by selecting the option Use Bulk API in Data Loader settings. Note: to perform the hard delete operation, we need a special permission called as Bulk API Hard Delete in user's profile.